Good evening, friends. Today we will be talking about useful tools for the classroom. I'm TJ and I'll be talking about Newsela and Rubistar. Carly will be talking about UDL Book Builder. Gloria will be talking about CAST Science Writer. And Sydney will be talking about UDL Exchange. Okay. Okay. All right. So what is Rubistar? It is a website that is targeted towards teachers so they can create rubrics for project-based activities that they give to their students. The rubrics can cover any subject, science, reading, math, whatever the teacher is focusing on teaching. Important uses and functions. It helps with teacher organization and grading assignments and classroom management. It helps teachers provide clear and efficient feedback for their students. And you can search for other teachers' rubrics for inspiration. You can create your own from scratch, or you can share your rubrics with other teachers. Some pros are that it's free, it's simple and self-explanatory, and even if you have any kind of trouble, they have tutorials that are available. They're also available online and printable, so usually you would worry about children who don't have access to technology, but you can just print out your rubric and give them a hard copy during class. So here is the website. Up here you can see home, you can find rubrics where you can search by subject, you can create your own rubric. Like let's say for example, we're doing a lab report. You're making a rubric for a lab report. So over here you can see that you can choose the category here. The category by like what you're grading the assignment on. So the hypothesis, variables, and here's the rating 4, 3, 2, and 1. And it's pretty simple. You can make yours from scratch. Oops, just kidding. Okay. There aren't any cons that I've noticed. It seems pretty simple. So what is Newsela? Newsela is a website that provides nonfiction articles about current events and news for students. Some pros are that it's up to date. It's also simple and self-explanatory. You need to be careful though for the appropriateness level because, for some parents, they might not want their children knowing certain things. So you have to be careful what you actually provide for the students. Like for example, the first article you see when you come on the page is about the election. But if you scroll down, I'll just give an example. So you read the article and you have the option after you read it to either write about it or you can take a quiz. And it's beneficial for students because you have the quiz right here on the right side and you have the article itself here. So it tests their critical thinking and their reading skills, but if students need a little bit of help, they can still come over here and look at the article if they don't really know the answer. And those are my sources. And thanks for listening.
Okay, I'll be talking about UDL Book Builder. UDL Book Builder can be used to create, share, publish, and read digital books that support, encourage, and engage diverse learners. When reading on the Book Builder, you can browse an endless list and read, comment, and rate books that were created by other teachers, students, and parents. The books are categorized by title, author, illustrator, grade level, content area, genre, and rating. The books are available in 8 different languages. It's free to create books on Book Builder, and you can share your books online. You can create books in any content area that include text, pictures, videos, a book reader, a place for responses, and definitions. A few benefits of the UDL Book Builder are that it caters to a variety of learners according to their interests, needs, and skills. It's easy to navigate and use. There are limitless book options when it comes to choosing a story from the online collection. Books are available and can be created in multiple languages. And there's a step-by-step guidance when creating books. Some negatives to Book Builder are that there are no font choices when creating a story, and there's no way to resize the images. Also, the website looks a bit outdated and may be a turnoff for young students. The voice for the book reader could also be clearer. There are multiple ways that Book Builder could be used in the classroom. Teachers could make a project for students to write their own story. Books from the website could be read with the class, and teachers could create their own books to fit specific lessons. Here are my references. All right.
Okay, so I'm Gloria and I did CAS Science Writer. So CAS Science Writer is a tool that supports students in writing lab and class reports. It is mainly geared toward middle and high school students. And what it really does is just break down the process of writing a lab report so it's easier for students. And this is a website you can go to locate that tool. So once you sign up and make an account, you can go ahead and get started writing lab reports. Some features within the tool are the report structure. So all lab and class reports are just broken down into small sections so the students can focus on one thing at a time. Also, a writing process. Science Writer helps students write with a draft, revise, edit feature. The science starters, they are a button that says help me get started, and it just divides the writing into smaller sections and provides sentence starters when drafting the report to help the writer get started. And then there's also a checklist feature which makes sure all the content and grammar are correct. There's a journal feature, and this allows you to write notes, comments, or keep track of the data while you're completing the report. And then finally, there is a text-to-speech feature, and you can hear any text read aloud on the page. So if you just highlight it, and in the corner of the page, there's a little box that has a play button. You just click play, and you can hear any of the text that's written. And this is just really useful for checking your work. And there's also within that tool, there's a dictionary and a translator that you can use. So some pros of CAS Science Writer is it teaches students how to properly write reports and keeps them organized while doing so. It's also very kid-friendly. There are animal characters that you can click on while completing a report to help show the students what to do and clarify the instructions. So it makes it a little more fun for them and more relatable. Also, it's free, and it uses the UDL framework to meet the needs of a wide range of students. So just a few obstacles with the CAS Writer. It may take a lot of time to complete a whole report, especially if it's done in the class, just because the whole idea of it is to break down the whole lab process, the lab writing process. So it may take a little while and something you probably won't want to do in the classroom necessarily. But if you did do it at home, you would have to make sure all the students have access to the internet. And then also it did, while I was scrolling through, it seemed a little bit outdated. So that may initially not attract any students, but there may not also be a problem with that. And that is it.
All right, I'm Sydney, and I'm talking about UDL Exchange. UDL Exchange is also known as CAS UDL Exchange, and UDL just means that it stands for Universal Design of Learning, which is basically an educational framework that tries to meet the needs of all students, which is accomplished through a flexible environment. So UDL Exchange teachers or anyone really could go to browse and build lessons, resources, and collections. The resources include websites, documents, images, videos, things of that nature that support the implementation of UDL. And lessons address the variability of different learners. And you can get different grade levels, content areas, different purposes, different types of medias that teachers want to use. But these lessons are created from other teachers as well. So collections are basically just resources or lessons that are centered around a theme. And here is an example of, so this is what the main page looks like. And when you go to UDL collections, you can click browse. And when I did it, I found one, I think, yeah, it's still here. So like World War II, they even have one of like the Dust Bowl, and it gives you like a whole bunch of information and stuff of things you could use, different resources, lessons, teachers, comments, etc. So when you're building a lesson, this is what it looks like. You click build, new, and then I'm just gonna do example. And everything is basically laid out for you. So you have the part where you can do about the lesson, the goals, the assessment, everything. So you just go and edit them and it's all laid out. So some uses of this in the classroom is that the lessons can be interactive depending on what lesson you choose if you're a teacher, which can help students improve their critical thinking skills because they have to actually work on the project. It's hands-on. They're usually more engaged. Also, it helps classroom management and time management because teachers can easily find and make lessons, which allows for more time to implement the lesson and more time to reflect on the lesson. Different learning styles. Since UDL is designed to be flexible, it tries to meet the needs of every learner, which can help with many skills for students like comprehension skills, creativity, their reading, writing skills, math skills, depending on whatever lesson the teacher picks. It can be lessons that are technology related, arts integrated, really any content area. And then teachers, if they find a lesson they like, they can change the existing lesson to differentiate their teaching. So the teachers know what their students at and what needs they need and where they are and where they have to be, so they can change a lesson to fit their students' needs better. And then some obstacles is that if a teacher needs a last minute lesson for a sub, it might be difficult to find a good lesson within the time frame that they need if it's short amount of notice. And also lessons are created by other teachers, so some lessons might not be well thought out, well written, or even executed because depending on the other teacher's ability. I haven't come across any of these lessons though, but I'm sure there's probably one out there. And also the privacy of the lessons. All of the lessons are automatically shared to the public, so if a teacher for some reason doesn't want that to happen, there's no way to turn off the publicity. And then here are my resources. And then that's it, so thank you for listening.